Okay, we're here at the Grove with European Tour star and Ryder Cup legend Andy Sullivan. We're just going to have a quick chat. Andy, good to see you. Before we get to the Ryder Cup, let's go way back to the Walker Cup, where you kind of burst onto the scene, as it were. You played against Jordan Spieth that week, and Peter Uihlein and other players who household names now, as well as yourself. Just tell us a bit about that experience.
I think I was late sort of coming to the professional game purely because I wanted to play Walker Cup. I felt like it was, something that I really wanted to do before turning pro, and I felt like it was like the amateur side of the Ryder Cup. So for me, it was always a big ambition of mine to play that and to do it, at Royal Aberdeen and be on the winning team against such a, illustrious American team as you look at it now was unbelievable. And obviously, to play against the likes of Jordan and Harris in the singles was unbelievable, and something that the memories of that week will last a long time with me.
I mean, I'm sure you don't want to be reminded that you lost to Jordan Spieth in the singles, but when you're shaking hands with him on the 16th, are you thinking this guy's going to go and win majors? Like, can you tell that sort of thing, because he was only 18 at the time?
No, the weirdest thing about it is like you can never really tell. Jordan's, the one thing I will say about Jordan is, he's the nicest guy in the world then, and he still is now. And I think that's something that you can get that from all his interviews and being around him. But to say he'd go on and do what he's done, you just can never predict that. I suppose, there's a few guys in that team that they were thinking that could go on and do that. We were pinned as the underdogs for a long time in that Walker Cup, but to go on and do what he's done, it's massively inspiring, and hopefully a lot of the guys in the GB&I team can try and gain inspiration from that and try and crack on with it. But like I said, he's an unbelievable guy and a great character for the game of golf. I think when he's up there with the likes of Rory and Jason Day, I think the game of golf's in good hands.
I mean, it was really windy that week. I mean, do you think the conditions, you say you were the underdogs, do you think the conditions helped you that week? Is your game in particular suited to playing in wind and poor conditions?
I think it was then. I think all of us was, because obviously we play the amateur season, which is predominantly links throughout the year in the UK. So a lot of us played that, and we was used to playing in strong winds, always playing links golf courses. So I think we were, more adapted to that than they was. And I think the front nine helped because it was into wind all the way down the front nine. I think it was really tough for them to try and keep the ball down. I think that's where we pretty much got up at the upper hand early doors, and going down the back nine, it was we could just sort of stroll it out sort of thing. But like I said, it was an unbelievable week, and Nigel Edwards was a great captain and something that I'll take with me for a long time. Even though I did lose to Jordan, so thanks for reminding me about that.
So, other than Walker Cup, you've played GolfSixes, you've played World Cup, you've played the EurAsia Cup. I mean, what is it about? I mean, you went 3 for 3 at EurAsia Cup. What is it about team golf that you like?
I think there's a big difference when you're playing team golf. You're playing for how many other lads, whether it's 10, 12, or your partner you're playing with. There's just something about that extra added pressure I like, where you have to, keep your end up and you really try, no matter how good or bad things are, you've really just got to be on it all the time. You don't want to let anybody down. I think that's the big thing. Sometimes when you're playing on your own, it's just basically all on you. With a team, you just don't want to let anyone down. I think that's a big thing. And obviously, when you win and you do good things, it's, you get to share it with them 10 other lads or your partner or whatever, have you have it. And I think that's the special about it. It's such an individual game, and we play so very few team events. I think when we do get to play it, it's a real pleasure, to share it with other people, and especially in your, the guys from Europe as well. I think the team camaraderie is next to anything. I think that's the biggest thing why Europe have won so many Ryder Cups recently up to the last one, is just purely because of the team camaraderie. You can see that. There's 12 guys out there that are united as one, and sometimes, the American side, you can see there's been fractions in them because they've come out and said they have. But I think the worrying thing coming forward is they look a bit more of a team now than they've ever done. So,
I mean, the EurAsia Cup going into the Ryder Cup, was that a really good preparation for you? Was that, you talk about camaraderie and and being prepared and being part of a team. Is that, how did EurAsia Cup prepare you for your Ryder Cup debut?
I think it was a teaser, obviously I was in the points qualification for a long time, and even up to EurAsia Cup. So for me, it was like I was feeling like, this is like my time to show Darren that I am good enough to get in that team and show him what I was about. That's what I really wanted to go out there and win all my games and show him that I was good enough to play in a Ryder Cup team and be a good team member, just put myself forward and always voice my opinion and just, tell them how I feel. I think it's important when you're in a team, everyone needs to know how you're feeling, whether it's good, bad, you need to know. Everyone needs to know what's going on. So I think it was just a massive eye-opener for me on, gone from the Walker Cup to EurAsia Cup to Ryder Cup. It just, it was a step up every time, and the intensity got more and more every time. And I think that's, something is, if you want to play at the top of the game, that's something that you want to do. And I loved every minute of it, even though, the Ryder Cup didn't go the way we wanted to. Again, it's an experience that, I'll never forget in my life. I got to represent my continent, and, that's a proud moment for me to play at the golf at the highest pressure. It's unbelievable.
I mean, was there a sense of frustration at the Ryder Cup? I mean, you say you went there and you got to represent Europe and stuff, but was there a sense of frustration on a personal level in that you only got to play away from the singles? You only played in one match.
Yeah, I think when I was there, I was frustrated because I felt like I was playing well, and I felt like I should have been playing more. But then when I come away from it, Thomas Bjorn pulled me one side and had a word with me, and he said the best way you can describe it is you prepare to play 5 and accept that you might only play once. And I think, when I look back and I think, that's the attitude I should have gone in with. I think that's the way you've got to approach them things. You've got to prepare that you might play 5 games and be ready to play 5 games, but accept that you might only play once. And I think that's that's part of being in a Ryder Cup team. There's sacrifices you've got to make, and the captain's decision is the be all and end all. They're not doing it to single out anyone. They're doing it because that's what's best. They think what's best for the team, and that's part of being in a team. You just have to take it on the chin and go, right, let's go and cheer the lads on and get on with it. I think that's massive. So I think that's Thomas really helped me in that, look at it in a different way, because at the time, obviously I felt like I was playing well, and I was frustrated that I didn't play more. But again, I think anyone that didn't play 5 games is frustrated, because we all want to play 5 games, but we can't. So, but again, it was unbelievable to play in that amphitheatre of just noise and everything going on. It was fantastic.
I mean, having that relationship with Thomas Bjorn probably bodes well for next year. But how was Darren Clarke as a captain? Was he particularly? We hear about McGinley at Gleneagles was very man-on-man, had really good man management skills. How was Clarke in Hazeltine?
I think Clarke was really good. I think what I'd got from it is he gave you a kick up the arse when you need it, and he was there putting an arm around you when you need it as well, which is nice, because some guys get more of it from getting a bit of a bollocking, and other guys get more out of it from giving them a little bit of sympathy and saying nice things to them. I'm more of a guy that needs a bit of a telling off and to get me motivated more than an arm around me. So, I think he covered the bases really well. I think with the vice captains he had as well, with the age mix, I think it worked really, really well. I think every area was covered. I think just one of them things where the Americans just played a little bit better on a course that was perfectly suited for them.
And I have to ask you about the fans. Obviously, the players on the European team got a lot of abuse that week. I mean, how was that for you? How did you sort of fend it off?
It was a fucking nightmare. No, I'm joking. For me personally, it wasn't that bad. I think because I was a rookie and they didn't know a particularly lot about me. It didn't get me so much. I think a lot of the attention was on sort of Danny, obviously, from booed from start to finish. So, I think I felt sorry for him the most, getting the brunt of it, especially on his debut. If he's played one before or a couple before, it's fine, but on a debut it was pretty harsh for him. But
we have sent him some flowers.
Yeah. But I think obviously it got ramped up from that, and I think because they hadn't won it for so long, they were desperate to win it, and you could feel the crowd wanting that. I felt sorry for the likes of Rory, Garcia and Westy, because they were getting directed quite a lot of the attention towards them with the crowds and stuff. You know, they was getting quite a lot, and you know, as much as you try and block it out, it is gonna get to you eventually. You know, they were trying hard, and when there's about 100,000 people on top of you constantly giving you barracking, it's difficult. You know, but again, that's part and parcel of playing in the Ryder Cup. You know it's coming. We knew we was going to get that. Obviously, it was ramped up a bit more, but you know, you knew we was going to get a sort of hostile atmosphere. We was going to have to play in. So, I suppose them guys, you know, dealt with it better than a few of the rookies did, really.
And of course, you know, Ryder Cup next year, is that something you're targeting? I mean, I know a lot of pros say, well, you know, I just concentrate on my game week by week, and then if I qualify for the Ryder Cup, that's the bonus of it. How do you approach it? Yeah,
definitely. You know, obviously it's a massive goal of mine. I really want to be in that Ryder Cup team. I think once you've played one, you don't want to miss one ever again. You know, every time I sort of think about coming down the stretch in a Ryder Cup match, sort of get goosebumps. So you know, I desperately want to be there, but if I'm going to be there, I seriously need to pull my finger out at recent results. But you know, Paris National again, I think it's a perfect place for Europe to regain the Ryder Cup. I think it's a course that will, you know, suit a lot of Europeans down to the ground, and we play it every year, so we all know the ins and outs of the golf course.